Our nightmares are often the most important dreams because they're coming to wake us up. And here's an example, and this has been authenticated. In the mid-19th century, the top engineers in England were trying to develop the first efficient sewing machine, okay? And they were not successful. They couldn't quite figure it out. And one of those engineers was a gentleman named Elias Howe, H-O-A-E. And he was frustrated. He couldn't get this machine to work properly. And he falls asleep and he has the following horrific nightmare. He's being chased by cannibals through a jungle. They capture him. They tie his hands behind his back. They lead him back to a village and they put him in a giant pot. And they put a fire under the pot because they're going to cook him. And as the heat starts to really get intense, Howe, who's panicking, realizes the heat is loosening the ropes that are tying his hands, and he's able to free his hands, and he grabs the side of the pot to try to get out, but the natives stick their spear into his chest and push him back in. So he grabs another side of the pot, but they take their spears, they put him in his chest, and they push him back in. And in a panic, he wakes up in an absolute sweat. Okay. Well, he was relieved that because we know when we dream, it feels real. He was relieved that it was only a dream. But something kept his attention. He remembered that for some strange reason, the spears of these cannibals had holes near the points of the spear. And he kept the phrase, holes in the point, holes towards the point. And then he realized something. When people hand sew, they thread, they put the thread through a hole near the base of the needle because it gives good leverage for the hands. So the engineers working on a mechanical sewing machine assumed logically and rationally that we'll have the machine thread through a hole near the base of the needle. Well, the nightmare, for some reason, there were holes near the points of the spear. So he said, what the heck? He went into his home laboratory. He refigured the gear system so that the machine would thread through a hole near the point, and he developed the first efficient sewing machine, which launched the Industrial Revolution. And it would be fair to say, Rob, that the clothes that you and I are wearing and the clothes that all of your listeners are wearing, we owe no gratitude to the nightmare of Elias Howe.